I've wasted so much time waiting for you, leaving me blue and bruised. Tell me, why are you teasing me by saying goodbye when I try and I try, but you push the love aside? Just leaving me hanging. That song, totally above my range. I am not a soprano. Show you how I move. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Sheleah Monéa and I am here with a story time. My last story time was my COVID story, and I felt like it was important because we are in a global pandemic. And I got the very thing that everybody's afraid of getting right now. It's like having the scarlet letter on your chest. It's got a big old C.
Coronavirus!
So just want to talk about it, try to make it informative, but fun, but serious. Kind of like how I am. I am a Gemini. I am super serious and I am super goofy. I'm literally both. So I feel like that is how I'll sometimes come across when I'm doing these story times. So if you like it, keep on watching. You're gonna hear this really annoying bird chirping, but unless I'm in a soundproof room, Mother Nature is gonna happen. So let's move on. So my story time is about the song called Hangin. Just leaving me hanging. Got me just hanging. So this is a song that is sung by the beautiful, talented Miss Erin Stevenson. If y'all don't know about her, y'all need to get on her like now. Her resume is amazing. She has sung background with Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, Duran, J-Lo, like the list goes on. She is the real deal. She is the truth, and she is a sweetheart, and she is very professional, and I just wish her so much success because she truly deserves it. So she has a song that's out and it's called Hangin'. Your girl wrote that song. I actually, let me see, I'm gonna get my songbook. I have years and years, like, here goes magic. Don't you forget that. Don't you forget that. So I got a lot of songs in this. Like a lot, this book might look worthless, but it is worth a lot of money. So. Crazy about you. Where the heck is this song? I know what's in here. Hey, Insecurity. Dang, I wrote that song a long time ago. Well, this book is old. It probably got ripped out. Aww. That sucks. I did not know that.
Trouble. So sweet. Waiting. Slow grind. Where is this damn song?
I'm guilty.
Secret. Smile. Out of sight, out of mind.
And I like to choose. Being honest, like to tell the truth. I really want to say my all for you.
7 hours later.
I just looked through my songbook. I'm actually a little upset right now because there's like a whole bunch of pages just missing. And I mean, that book, as you can see, is very old. I've had it since 2008. and that book is obviously come apart. So regardless, it's not the point of the story. I was just trying to just show it for aesthetics or whatever, doesn't matter. For a lot of the songs that I have written that you guys just don't know yet because I have yet to release it for real, only a small group of you guys know some of these OG Sheleah Monéa songs, which will be new Sheleah Monéa songs to you because it's old for me, it's new for y'all. I've written a lot of songs. We have a nice little catalog of songs that I wrote with Deshaun Big D, and he is based out of Boston, which is where I'm from. He actually hit me up and was like, hey, I've been seeing some of the stuff you're posting and let's like work, you know, let me send you some tracks and write to them. Let's see, go from there. So the first song that I wrote to one of Deshaun's productions was the song called Fantasy Reality, and I still love it. It has just like this groove and this like bass, and from there on we just wrote a lot of songs together. He sent me tracks, I wrote, sent it back, he gives me notes, I go back, I fix things up, whatever. We had a cool working relationship for many years. Forever will be family. So fast forward a few years, he sent me this track and it had like a very Motown, old school feel to it. At the time, the goal was to pitch it to a particular artist who had just been signed, who was up and coming. He was like, here, this is her style. Just write a song to this so that we can pitch to this artist. I'm like, all right, cool. So I listened to it. Hanging was born from all of the times that I felt like I really liked somebody or thought that things could be more than what it was. It wasn't about one specific person. Nope, not Hangin. All the experiences I had experienced in terms of F-boys, you know, F-boys like to get what they like to get and then, you know, want to leave you hanging. That's literally what Hangin's about. But said in a more romantic and a more loving, heart yearning for you kind of a vibe, instead of how everything is just so blatant in your face today. Like, I can even quote some of my lyrics in my songs. They're just blatant and in your face.
Kids today, so desensitized by movies and television.
I'm not proud of them, but I used to write songs that weren't like that. Hangin' is an example of that. I really was feeling it. I really got into my vocal arranging, and even on Erin's version now, I would say 90% of my vocal arranging is in that song. So, you know, that of course is like, all right, so I'm not a bad vocal arranger. Okay, cool. Shout out to Jimmy Martin. Thank you for all that learning back in the day. I'm the type that when I'm writing, I have my laptop, I got my notebook, and I have my mic, and I'm singing, I'm writing and recording at the same time, as well as doing the vocal arrangements. I'm not the type of writer that just comes up with the hook, the idea, and then does all of that and then puts vocal arrangements. No, I tend to write like linear, right? Every once in a blue moon, I come up with the hook first. Sometimes I might come up with the pre-hook first. That's what happened with Magic. But most of my songs are written from top to bottom, and I'm arranging as I'm recording it when I'm writing it. So most of the demos that you ever hear that I've done, especially with Deshaun, that was me when I was actually writing the song. It wasn't like recorded later on. I remember I sent the song to him, and it was a challenge for me because this song is above my range. So I can sometimes hit a decent note here and there, but my upper register is very weak, very, very fragile. And I just don't have a lot of confidence in my upper register, you know. I know where my sweet spot is and I try to just stay there, you know. There was a part in the song that I did at the end when I was recording it. I was totally out of tune and I hate that. I sang this front, it just came out so wrong. So I took it out of the version that I sent to him, but because he could see everything, he liked it and it made him think back to like the old days and how they used to leave more imperfections and stuff like that in it. So he left it. And I remember being so mad that he left it. And I was like, oh, he just like ruined this song because he left that stupid part. And now I can't listen to it. So to be honest, like I knew that it was being pitched to a particular artist. So I just didn't really listen to it again. And to be honest, not long after I wrote that song, I kind of stopped writing for a while. Actually, I stopped writing for a long time. Magic was literally one of the first songs I wrote again after my long writer's block. Not a bad song to recover writer's block from, right? That was around the time I truly was contemplating whether I was going to just give up music, because this is something I've literally been doing my entire life. During this time, I was just really going through it and really doubted my ability as an artist, as a songwriter. And I still have those doubts. I do. I'm not gonna act like it's gone away. If I start doubting myself, I stop writing because I don't want BS to come out. It's not like I didn't want to make it. It's just like, I'm just tired of trying over and over again. And I wanted to give up. I've felt like that so many times, and even as of late, like I go through it sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, maybe I should just hang it up. Maybe I'm just not as good as I think that I am there, because there's so many talented people out there, and you start comparing yourself and you're like, oh, but they can write like this, and they can do this melody, and they can do those vocal arrangements, and they look like that, and they have this range, and they sound, you know, like, oh. So all those things go through your head, and it's so oversaturated that you're kind of like, how am I truly gonna make it in this market of everybody doing exactly what I do? Like, what makes me stand out from the rest of the pack? Because I mean, I don't know, to be honest. I can't answer that question. My dad asks me that question sometimes. Basically, I kind of forgot about that song because I didn't listen to it because I hated the 2 seconds that you hear me mess up, because he left it in there because he liked it and I hated it. So I literally refused to listen to the song, or whenever it came to that part, I would skip it. You get it? Like, that's how much I hate that part. Even to this day, like, I don't go out of my way to listen to that part.
Hated it.
Turn it down. Anyway, I forgot about the song. In 2016, I met a very well-known industry manager, and my mom met him and they got to talking, and then she invited him to dinner for where we were. And we got to talking. I got him to listen to my stuff. Now, 2016 was a really hard year for me for a lot of personal reasons that we're not there yet, so I'm not ready to share that story time with you, okay? But maybe one day we can get there. However, I remember I let him listen to my music, and the songs that I felt like were cool to listen to, one of those songs is Fool and Crazy About You, I believe. Some OG Sheleah Monéa songs that are old to me, but will be new to you one day. And he was kind of like, you like these songs? I don't know. He kind of made me feel like, oh, maybe I'm right. Maybe I do suck at songwriting. Maybe it's just not that good. Oh, wow. Like, cause the way he was kind of like listening to it, like, I can't speak for him. I don't know exactly why he kind of asked me the way he did. One thing he did say, he's like, I really love your voice. I really love your voice. I love your voice. After meeting with him, I realized I only played a few songs for him, but it made me go back and check my catalog. I rediscovered Hangin. And I was like, shoot, this is a dope song. Why didn't I let him listen to Hangin? So I started listening to Hangin more again. It had been a couple of years. I was like, man, this song is dope. And I started changing my mindset around the time that I met him. That's why I bring that up. I met him another time. I talked to him several times and gave some good advice and all of that. But I started listening to Hangin and some other songs that I hadn't really listened to in a while again. And I fell in love with Hangin. Like, I listened to it like almost every single day and was like, you know what? Maybe I need to like go ahead and just release an album. And I'm gonna have Hangin and I'm gonna make a music video. And I saw the music video in my head. I needed to make that song mine. So I was starting to work on myself and starting to make changes in 2017. And I knew like, all right, well, I'm gonna make these changes, but then I'm gonna start mapping out how I think I want to do some of my music stuff. And I hadn't reached out to Deshaun to let him know that that was my thought process. That was my goal. We hadn't really talked in a while because, like I said, I kind of gave up music. So one night out of the blue, I'm having like a family game night, and out of the blue, I get an email from him saying, hey, what's going on? I want you to check something out. And as soon as you check it out, you give me a call. I'm like, okay, cool. I see Hangin, and I'm like, I've been thinking about this song for like the last 6, 7, 8 months. I listen to it and I hear our song with somebody else singing it. And I'm like, it was like this bittersweet feeling. I was so proud as a songwriter that somebody with such a beautiful voice was singing my lyrics and my melody and everything. I had already put in my mind that was gonna be my song. I just hadn't communicated that. So that was one of my first instances where I'm like, I was manifesting something. I was manifesting it because I wasn't 100% on my intentions, I guess, with it. It manifested in a totally different way. But why, out of all the songs that we have in our catalog, Hangin was the one. And that was the song that I was putting my energy and putting out there in the universe. And I was doing all that. Like, I manifested something that came to be like a real thing. I don't know how to express myself correctly, so I'm gonna just leave it like that. But of course I called him. I'm like, hey, I just listened, what's going on? And so we had this like long talk, and he was telling me about this incredible artist. And he was like, funny thing, she's actually from Houston. He's like, but I was like, oh really, what's her name? And then he of course he tells me, and I didn't recognize the name. But he's like, yeah, I don't think you know her. I mean, she lives out here, but she sings backgrounds for Justin and Janet, and he was saying all this, right? And I'm like, I said, you know what? Yeah, you know what? I don't know her, but I think I know her parents. And he was like, how? And I was like, well, my job that I worked at for a long time, a very popular jewelry store, I had these wonderful customers that I got early on when I started working there. I love them. They're so great. And we got to talking, and me and the gentleman were speaking, and he was telling me, I must have said something about me singing and being a singer and a songwriter. And he was like, oh yeah, you know, my daughter actually, she's a singer, a songwriter, and she's singing right now she was singing for Justin at the time when he was on his tour. I know a few other people that perform in his band. When you go to a school like Berkeley, I mean, you're bound to know people who are doing good things and big things. I could totally name drop, but I'm not that kind of person, so I don't like to do that. Like, name dropping doesn't really impress me.
That don't impress me much.
Actions impress me. Name dropping, you can talk all day long about who you know and who this and who that, but unless there's some kind of action going along with it, like, it does nothing for me. So me knowing so-and-so that knows so-and-so and this and that, like, what's that doing for me? You putting money in my account? If you're not paying any of my bills, I don't care. Anyway, we hit it off, and I remember he followed me on my music Facebook page, and he really liked my stuff, and I always had great interactions with this particular couple. So when Deshawn was telling me that Erin has done what she's done, I was like, yeah, I think I know her parents. I said, ask her if her dad's name is such and such. So he's like, I will. He ends up hitting me back up and is like, yo, it is. And I'm like, what are the odds? What are the odds that I've never met Erin? I'm in Houston, Texas now, and for a number of years, her parents were customers of mine at my job, and I did not realize that we would end up connecting musically. Like, it was just meant to be. I already was manifesting life into Hangin, and then I have a relationship with this woman's parents. Sometimes you have to know that things happen for a reason. Like, certain lines were supposed to connect so that I sound like an idiot trying to talk. I just don't think it was a coincidence. Like, it was meant to be. And when I realized that connection, it was no longer bittersweet for me. It was just amazing. It's amazing how life can work and how something like that was born and happened. Like, what are the odds? That just, like, doesn't happen, especially considering that I'm not even from Houston. You know what I mean? I'm not from Houston. Of course, Hangin became like a single and was on her album, and it charted. I remember we were like on some charts in the UK. Like, Hangin got some traction, and I couldn't be more happy that it was sung by someone who's so radiant. I don't know, she's just on another level, and I learned so much from her. I finally got a chance to meet her because she did a big show out here in Houston. It was great, just like connecting and talking and just feeling her energy, and I just learned a lot from her. So like a big sis. I don't know what else to say. And it's just crazy that after all these years, you know, the last 3 years, people still love that song. And after I made a better effort to get connected with the Houston music scene, with just trying to put my stuff out there and focusing on me as an artist, I've met so many people that obviously know Erin because she's from Houston, and her resume again is insane. And when they find out that I wrote Hangin', they're like, what? You wrote that? Now, mind you, Erin put her own spin because she is a very talented songwriter in her own right, very talented. So when she heard the song, I remember she told me, she was like, girl, there was nothing wrong with this song. Like, that song was perfect how you did it. But of course, like, she wanted to make it fit in her narrative and like her experiences. And so of course she changed a few lines, changed a few things, and it works. Came out very well. And the great thing about being a songwriter and having other people sing your songs, even if you're an artist yourself, is if you wrote the song, guess what? You can always sing your own song. You can always sing it. So whenever I start having like longer shows where it's like Sheleah Monéa for real, where I'm not just singing, 2 or 3 songs that I have to sing from whatever, like when I can have a full-on show, I'm gonna sing Hangin' because I can, because I wrote it. And that is the beauty of songwriting. So if you are an artist that has songs that end up getting picked up or pitched to other people, if it's only supposed to be for them and you don't ever want to sing it, fine. But like for me, I do love Hangin', and I would love to like sing it because I love that song. So I can always do that. I can always release my own version if I want to one day. Like, that's something that I have the ability to do as a songwriter. If I never reach a certain level as Sheleah Monéa, the artist, I know that Sheleah Monéa, the songwriter, will live on. That's one of the things I do love about being a songwriter and an artist, is that anything that is pitched to another artist, if I want to sing it, I'm allowed to. And I encourage all of the artists, the singer-songwriters out there who might be fearful of not pitching certain songs to people because they like it and they want to hold on to it. Don't be afraid. You never know where another artist can take that song. They might be able to elevate it in a way that you weren't maybe able to, or just be able to bring it to a different audience that maybe you weren't able to. I'm forever grateful for what Erin brought to that song, like the life that she gave it, and her range is bonkers, But know that you can always sing your songs that you write. Like, that is the beauty about being a writer and an artist yourself, is you have that kind of control. I'm going to wrap up this story time. If you enjoyed this particular story time, let me know. I have other stories I would love to share, but let me know if you want to hear it. You can definitely find Hangin' on all streaming platforms. If you're curious to hear my demo version, leave a comment, and maybe, just maybe, I'll post it like on SoundCloud or something. Maybe. But we'll see. Y'all gotta let me know though, okay? Definitely stream Hangin' by Erin Stevenson. It is on all streaming platforms. She has a music video, so definitely after you watch this, go type in Erin Stevenson and watch her sing Hangin'. And yeah, just keep supporting independent artists. There's good music out there for those that I hear so many times. There's no more good music. There's good music out there. You just gotta look. You gotta look and get out of the bubble of these people having to have millions of fans. Like, some of us aren't quite there yet, but we're getting there, and word of mouth and just letting people know that we exist helps so much. So thank you for any continued support that I may receive. Thank you for watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish everybody love, peace, and happiness, and stay beautiful, y'all. Because other people will sing. I will have other songs placed. I don't know. This isn't coming out right. I'm hungry. It's not as fun as I thought.